Wild Force has the Guardians of the Earth. United, we suck.
What do you think we're saying? Mighty Muffin Power Rangers?
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Ranger Nation Conversation here on the Ranger Nation podcast. We are 4 strong today, and with me I have Jay. Should have put him last. We have Bryce.
They just scared me.
We have John.
I'll just say hi like a normal person.
Thank you, John. And we have myself as well. Today, we don't have a specific direct topic per se. But,
so you may as well just stop listening now, go about your day, make a salad, do things that people do.
I implore you to ignore Jay. Apart from the salad part, that's probably a reasonable request right there.
Drink your water, kids.
Drink your water. Stay hydrated. Eat your salads. But keep listening, because we know that the speed rounds that we do every so often in our episodes are quite well received by us and fans. Or listeners, I should say.
We don't assume you like us.
We know one of the listeners doesn't like you, John.
Well,
Simon.
Good evening, Simon. Nice to have you with us again. So, speed rounds. Yes, we are going to be doing a few different randomized topics and subjects here, mostly being favourite something. But I've also chucked in one least favourite just to keep things dynamic, really. But let's get it started with something that starts everything. Favourite theme song.
Ooh.
There we go. So yeah, we've already got some oohs, ahs. I'm going to chuck it over to... While Bryce thinks about it, I'm going to chuck it over to Jay.
In a world full of strife, we must fight to survive. Try to break the chains that divide. Which is weird because I don't particularly love that show, but that song is awesome.
That was a very good rendition, I must say.
Thank you.
I'm glad you're using that one, so I don't have to think about it anymore. So now that narrows down my choices, because that was definitely on there.
I aim to please. I mean, there's probably other choices, but I mean, yeah. If we're not doing top threes, we're just doing one, right? We're just doing picking one.
I'd say just aim for one, I'd say.
So yeah, I'll do that. It's great. It's got its own unique melody. It's got like it's like the ideal way to integrate like the Go-Go Power Rangers theme song without just kind of like relying on it or like shoehorning it in for no reason. It kind of does its own thing with it, and it's like it's more hype than I think anything of the past decade has been.
I think what helps though is it came after 4 years of practically the same song.
Exact same thing, yeah.
Yep.
So anything that was different, we was like, oh, they've put effort in.
They wrote new words.
Rangers forever!
Except, unlike any other time, the fandom clings on to, the first good thing after crap just being the best thing ever. This one actually was, like, one of the best things ever.
The first good thing after crap sounds like it could be a solid episode title.
Yeah.
Or like a kick-ass medical supplement. I don't know. Maybe we should go into business doing that.
No, the Dino Fury crap. No, not that one. Dino Charge opening is really solid.
Yeah, it is actually. I remember when it was first announced, or I think it wasn't announced, sorry, it was the app for the scanning the QR codes on the chargers went live, and that had the theme song in the background, and everyone was like, oh my god, this is good music.
I remember that.
It was really fun to be around on the internet then.
That was
Jay.
a good 6 months.
I'd still argue that Dino Charge is like the only like really good opening song we've had in this whole like two eras that we've been in.
Oh, it kind of is. Like that's why it's such a shock to me that I like it so much, because I don't like anything else from this kind of recent thing. I mean, I don't really watch much of it anyway, but that theme song stuck with me.
Passed it on to another person.
Okay, and I've set the ball rolling, so we're gonna want to hear renditions of these theme songs.
Oh no, you're not going to renditions from me.
I quit.
Okay, well, let's hear
to
those.
the J podcast.
Let's hear those dulcet tones, John.
No, that ain't happening.
I have to go with the original. I mean, it still just it hits a chord with me.
Do you know which chord specifically?
C sharp.
No, I'd say the original MMPR. Specifically after season 1, when they took out Rita's talking.
I was going to ask that if it was one of the latter seasons of MMPR where it's like more instrumental.
Yeah, just like that
narration.
intro always gets me.
See, I'm gonna continue to have Bryce think things over and kind of jump off of your point to say mine. I was struggling between picking either Ninja Storm or SPD, and I've got to give it to SPD. And obviously, it's got some similar vibes done by Ron Wasserman as well as like the original MMPR. And I think it's such a good build up, but it really does hype you up in SPD. I think, and the filter that they kind of have on the audio for the singing voice. It's weird to say. It kind of sounds futuristic-y alien. I know it's just a quite generic-y filter.
Is that not just Ron Wasserman's voice?
It is, but I think they've got a slight filter on it.
I think, like a lot of Wasserman stuff, the music is amazing, but then the lyrics kind of fall flat.
Well, yeah, I suppose they're quite repetitive lyrics, but as Dave Grohl has made it very clear, you can be repetitive in songs and still be absolutely successful. But yeah. So I can see where Dave's. I can see where John's coming from in regards to Ron Wasserman's kind of use of music in building up and just getting you excited, and I feel like it does the exact same in SPD.
Well, and going off of that, Zio does it really well too.
Oh my god,
Zio is amazing in its own right, just because it's more amazing if you know the original song on its own. It's good. Yeah, if you know the original, that's when it's amazing.
Yeah, like Zio's kind of like the archetype of the Dino Charge kind of thing, where it's its own song that then becomes the original song. It's like
that's true.
Yeah,
it's like a version of the original. So
Zio's opening is just nothing but just pure hype.
Come on, Jay, give us your rendition of Zio. You know you want to.
Zio! I feel like it's a call back to the first episode.
Yes, I think so. But yeah, Bryce.
All right, so since we already talked about Dino Charge and we already talked about Zio, that makes some room for me to say Jungle Fury. I just really love that opening song.
That's a fetch. That is a solid choice.
It is, and I also remember on that we got no idea on what the theme song was going to be until the first episode aired.
Until it aired, yeah.
Yeah. That was like one of the only times we had like promos where they didn't include like any part of the theme song, and it wasn't it.
Yeah.
And that too was coming off of a couple years of theme songs that people kind of not liked. So it felt even better than it actually was.
No, that's fair. It's a good choice actually as well. I think we've all picked fairly solid choices, to be honest. But now I'm going to throw a curveball your way. Favorite Super Mega Force Ranger?
Noah. I can actually answer that like easily.
Fair enough. I thought this would be quite a struggle for everyone, to be honest with you.
Nah.
But yeah, go ahead, Bryce. You lead the way.
My favorite's got to be Noah. He's the only one in that cast who never got on my nerves, like at all.
He's the only one in that cast that wore blue.
In fact, I'd go as far as to say like his focus episodes, especially in like Super Mega Force, tended to be the best, even though he would just randomly turn into Joe.
Yeah.
Like figuratively and literally.
Yeah, I can see that. But
I thought so for what Megaforce was trying to do and like recapturing a lot of like archetypes in Mighty Morphin, I thought that this obvious like Billy type character, they did an okay job with him. Way better than them trying to make like Troy the new Tommy.
I don't know what they were trying to make Troy be. He might have been Joey Essex all the time.
But yeah, I liked Noah.
Pass it on.
Oh, do I decide? I thought that was you.
Yeah, you can decide. Why not?
All right, just because I'm really curious. Jay.
I've not watched Super Mega Force.
Oh crap!
I've
That's
seen like 2 or 3 episodes. What the hell?
okay. You've seen enough.
Trust
me, you've seen enough.
That's not wrong.
Okay, so based on the limited experience I have of it, I'm gonna go with the silver one, whose name is it Orion?
Yes, it is.
Orion. Mm-hmm.
Look at me knowing stuff. Yeah, he seemed like a man who wanted to act in a better show than he was in. So I'm gonna give that man his flowers. I can't. That's literally. I've got nothing else to say. Was he an alien?
Yeah,
He was.
It was basically them like redoing Taizan's whole backstory, kinda.
It really was. Even down to the silver. Yeah.
Yeah, like, yeah. I'm even. It's like, it's actually quite painful because you've got like that costume belongs to such a great Sentai character.
My favorite
And then
Six
it's
Ranger.
It's kind of just, yeah. If I can throw some Sentai answers into this, we're gonna have a good time. Is all I'm gonna say.
That just sums up Super Mega Force, like in general. Like once you watch Gokaiger and then you see these people wearing their costumes, you just every time you see them, you're just like, how dare you?
Yep, just call us Sentai snubs. Was that the phrase? Did people used to use that once upon a
I think
time?
so.
Oh
I think- I
well,
believe so,
now
yeah.
let's say we have a Sentai fixation.
Oh, and you got Sentai purists as well.
Oh, of course, yeah. You'd be the only reason, Bryce, you son of a. The only reason that you don't like the Cosmic Fury suits is because they're not Q Ranger. You Sentai purist. You piece of shit. You're gonna burn in hell. You're gonna feel the wrath of hell.
I mean, I can't even be mad because on some level, yeah, I'm mad it's not Q Ranger, but look at it and then look at Q Ranger. Anyway, next.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna pass on. I'm gonna pass on to Mike.
I wasn't the one who got off track. Haha.
I would probably have to say, honestly, I would actually say it's Troy
Ew.
because he's so stiff, he's so emotionless, and it's just very. It's such an interesting performance to watch. I find myself enamored with it. I can't look away when he's on screen and when he's delivering these like heroic attempts of lines. It's just fascinating. I honestly, genuinely, I kind of want him to make more appearances in the show going forward, if there is ever a show going forward. I'd love for him to come back and have like Troy be this amazing force that keeps coming back in the show, this super mega force, if you will, coming back in the show, with just constantly making appearances that are just not even overacted, underacted, while being overacted, and it's just it's just fascinating.
I do got to give Troy this. After, characters like Blue Centurion and Mac, it felt cool having like accurate robot representation in Power Rangers with Troy.
Yeah, I can see that.
Like they finally got it right.
John, you're up next.
I guess I would say Gia, just because of that one gif where she's like, sick 'em.
Yeah, that's the one.
I don't think I've ever seen that before.
That's specifically
This is what
the
you need
only
to
reason.
watch.
That's just
I think these are all valid reasons to why we like these key iconic characters of the show.
Just for those people that are listening and can't see our Discord chat to see this GIF in question, which is, everyone listening that isn't us, it is a GIF of Gia just nodding at the team. I couldn't tell you what episode it was from because I've not seen the show. And the team just like all run as if someone on like the directing seat has shouted like, or like fired a gun or something, and they've just run.
We'll tweet the GIF as well. So if you head to our Twitter, you'll be able to see it.
Emma's so much slower than everybody else. There's so much going on in this GIF. I love it. John, thank you for this GIF.
So Mother.
I love as well how they're still filming in that location that they've been filming in since Dino Thunder. If you look where Emma, well, I can't remember which, in the background, you can see that red figure on the wall.
Oh yeah.
Which was a background location for since Dino Thunder. But I don't know what that is on the wall because it looks like a Red Ranger, but then that makes no sense.
it looks like Red Gumby.
I'll be honest, I'm not sure what that is.
You don't have Gumby?
Wait, the UK doesn't have Gumby?
I mean, I never know what these crazy Americans are talking about. I'm just here. I'm just along for the ride.
I refuse to believe you've never
You
heard of
don't have
Gumby.
this little guy right here?
No, what we have
Morph?
is,
It looks like Morph?
Yeah, we have Morph.
It's entirely unrelated to Power Rangers, ironically. It was like
It is, yeah.
It's like this little plasticine Play-Doh guy.
We have Morph.
Yeah, he's way more refined than Gumby.
So y'all just
What
ripped
the
off
hell?
Gumby and made him more Uncanny Valley.
No, I got. Please, America ripped off Britain by existing. Don't you come at us with this?
So y'all have this Mothman, but do you have
Morph. Hang on. Bryce, how did you mispronounce the word morph when we're talking about Power Rangers?
Wait, his name is Morph? I thought you were saying Moth.
Morph? What do you think we're saying? Mighty Moth
Well,
in
you
Power
got
Rangers?
him, the little Gumby ripoff.
Grand Morph.
Do you have a ripoff of Gumby's trusty horse sidekick, Pokey?
What the hell is wrong with his face?
He's made of clay.
Oh my god! that is lazy. Right? We gave the world like what, Wallace and Gromit, like some of the finest stop motion like claymation stuff in the world, and you gave us Gumby.
Everybody knows Gumby more than they know Moth.
His name's Moth.
Is this staying in? Like, do we?
Of course,
100%.
This people. I want anyone listening in the comments or wherever to comment more for Gumby. Look them up, have a little bit of research, and tell us, because quite frankly, I don't know if it's a cultural thing or a us versus them thing, US versus the UK, but you crazy colonials, what is this? No, it's more
It's
100%.
They jump into books and tell stories.
Like, that's such a lame name. Who's just out here naming their claymation people Moth?
I'm sorry, it's just Gumby.
Look at Gumby right here. Like,
what?
Like this is.
How American he's gonna shoot you. Whoa.
All right, so for
Gumby.
reference, everybody listening, in case we don't cut this, we're like in Discord just having a gif off between Gumby and Morph or Moth or whatever he's called. I'm calling him Moth.
I think this don't worry, we will share some of these on Twitter.
We'll be
as
tweeting
well.
these, and you'll have context.
This is vital. This is vital information in this Power Rangers themed podcast. Let me tell you.
Gumby should be a Power Ranger.
God.
Anyway,
This is what happens when we have to talk about Super Mega Force. Can we just
Talking
get
about
that straight?
something better now.
Right, we all gave our answers. Yes. Speaking of Morph,
My favorite Super Mega Force Ranger is Gumby.
right, I'm going to read this out like Bryce. So the next speed round is favorite moth sequence. For the uninitiated, morph sequence. I'm still thinking of mine, and I wrote these questions like hours ago, so I'm going to pass this on over.
Well,
pass it over
good start.
to John.
That's, we got a lot of good ones. It's tough.
I gotta go original. Maybe leaning a little more towards season 3, but definitely first 3 seasons.
Such an old man, John. Gen Warner.
It still hits the right chords. It's a lightning bolt and everything. It works.
How do you feel about the Morphin Once and Always, John?
It is a thing that exists.
Needs more Power Blaster.
They tried.
So, I think the season, well, not season 1, just MMPR in general is a good one because there are different versions of it. Because obviously there's the original one, and they all look like subtly different. But I think
the tank top version,
which I hate. That's my least favorite one.
Yeah. So
I actually agree with you. I think the season 3 one is the best. I feel like it's like a natural evolution of it, where it kind of, it takes what the original one was, it kind of glosses over the silliness of the lazy season 2 one, and then it's kind of improved. It's got like, but I love the whole like lightning surrounding the body, so you can only see like the heads and arms. That's such a big deal. And then in season 3, they added like the beams of light coming off, and there's just more energy. It just feels like they're being enveloped by it. It's so good. And then we all get the helmets coming on. It's not just reserved for Red. It's such a good improvement on the original one that it, again, I get why Once and Always was trying to homage season 1, but it didn't even homage season 1 properly because it looked more like the season 2 one. So,
And I'm sorry, that helmet was so bad.
It was, but we're used to bad helmet effects at this point. Just look at Dino Fury's morph.
That's yeah. I mean, I don't know if anyone's is gonna pick Dino Fury, but that's
so. If it wasn't for that effect, I might have picked Dino Fury as like one of my favorite morph sequences because before that part was really solid.
Yeah, I like it. I like the music too.
Yeah, I'd say it's like the only memorable thing from Dino Fury for me, from what I've seen of it. But I didn't even mean that as like shade. That was just genuinely. It's like that's. It's kind of like I don't remember a lot. I don't remember half the names, but I remember the morph sequences. Like the music. The music for most of the show, from the episodes I've seen, is just like.
Yeah, it's a weird techno.
Just if you play the Portal games, and you've heard Dino Fury's whole soundtrack.
But in the morph, it's like the kind of thing. I can kind of hear it in my head now. I can't I couldn't give it all to you now, but I can kind of.
I know what you mean. I can kind of hear it in my head, but I'm not going to try and replicate it because I'm not a machine, and I would need a machine.
Says the guy who picked Troy as their favorite.
I said I'm not a machine, not that he was.
I think he idolized. He respects him for being a machine. He's the machine that Mike wishes he could be.
Oh god.
Oh gosh.
Next.
So yeah, John, pass it on.
Rice.
All right. For me, it's got to be a tie between Zio's morph sequence and RPM's.
Oh,
I like Zio.
Zio's is good.
Zio.
It's just like the theme song. It felt like a genuine upgrade from what we had seen before. Stronger than before, even.
Powered up for more.
We need to get some of the Zio sound effects of the soundboard.
Actually,
I can't keep doing this every time.
I kind of miss like what we had in like Mighty Morphin, Zio, and Turbo, where like there will be sort of, I guess, like a roll call within the morph sequence.
That's a fair point.
Except for
that's actually
foreshadowing.
Except for they did with Megaforce. That was just lazy, where they just yell out Super Megaforce Red as they're morphing. Like, nah, get more creative.
What was it? Was it just? What's the Super Megaforce one like? Is it just the Gokaiger one? Or?
Very, very similar.
It's
Similar,
evocative of Gokaiger morph, but it's not like exactly that.
It's just like them in a blue sky background, and their symbol flies up and forms their helmet.
It takes a lot of like influence from both the Goseiger and the Gokaiger morphs without actually being exactly like them.
Oh.
But yeah, no, I kind of miss how earlier seasons kind of did that, where they're like either yelling their Zords or their in Zio's case their rank, or you know the red lightning turbo powers and stuff like that. I thought that was cool. Does not make
Yeah.
I do
does
like.
not make for good short more sequences, I guess. But it was cool.
I do like. I get kind of off topic, but like Zio being like, Zio Ranger 5, red, and it's kind of like if you've got like, it's not just red Zio Ranger. It's like a title kind of
Yeah,
thing.
like don't.
It's like something RPM does as well. I really.
And
like that.
at one point, Zio, even like Bulk and Skull, referred to Tommy as Zio Ranger 5. But
Yeah.
that also kind of confused me, because I'm also thinking like, have they ever called themselves that, like around civilians? Like how did Bulk know what he was called? Didn't he have just said he saw the Red Ranger? And then just on the flip side, RPM's morph is just awesome. I just really like the Disney era morph sequences in general. Like, I heard some people say they're like a little too flashy, but that's what I always liked about them.
It's supposed to be flashy.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's kind of a thing, isn't it? I'll wait till it gets to my turn. Actually, I'll let Bryce continue to talk.
Bryce, pass it on to someone when you're ready.
Let's go with Mike.
Mine was a tie as well, actually, between Lightspeed and Dino Thunder.
Oh, yeah, Dino Thunders is good.
Lightspeed for the obvious reasons of the way the visor shape kind of just folds and melts over them to create the diamond, well, not diamond, like the star pattern, the umbrella pattern, if you will.
It's a Maltese cross.
What?
There we go. It's a Maltese cross.
Oh,
I've never heard or seen that mentioned anywhere, but that's what it is. It's when I've been doing my redesigns and researching things and looking stuff up. That's what it is.
Huh.
Lovely bit of insight there.
Thought that was another Britishism, like your moth.
It's just insulting now. Oh my god. So yes, Lightspeed was one of them, thanks to their Maltese cross. And Dino Thunder being the other one. I just feel like, I know it was the first time the Disney ones obviously started doing all their backflips and yeah, I just feel like it had a real big prehistoric vibe. It still amped up a little bit in terms of like what they would like when they're morphing and getting into the action, like having all the backflips and stuff. It was nice. Visually, again, like I said, it looks nice, but I also liked how they changed it up for Trent's, and his was all like Fortress of Solitude-y.
Oh yeah, he didn't do a backflip; he spun.
Oh yeah, his is awesome. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I just when I think back of like good morphs, obviously SPD's was good as well, but I don't know, something about the Dino Thunder one. I'm not sure if it's because Aber Ranger was the first Sentai I was fully aware of, and so I was seeing the clips of it, and it was the first time I was able to instantly compare. Oh look, this is how they've done it in Power Rangers, the equivalent. I'm not sure if that's part of the reason why, but I do look back quite fondly on the Dino Thunder morph. I think it's just well executed. It's simple enough.
Just really like the Disney morphs in general. Like you had Dino Thunder, SPD, Mystic Force.
We are just naming the seasons now, bro.
I can't think of like a single
Operation Overdrive, Jungle Fury.
I can't think of like a single like bad or even mediocre morph sequence in the whole Disney era. Except for like the one-offs we had in SPD, like Sky's Red Ranger morph.
Yeah, I'll give you that. And I'm going to pass it on now to the last but not least, Jay.
Oh well, buckle in, kiddies, because you're in for a soliloquy now.
Ah, shit.
No, I'm kind of joking. Well, not really, because I've got a few. Because, like, are we going by like full morphs? Or are we going by like the insta morph kind of things, or it's just like an
actual morph sequence?
Yeah, I would say the full morph sequence. I was tempted to have the
are we
next
going
speed
by
round
Sentai as well?
Nope.
No, this is the Ranger Nation podcast.
There's not a single Sentai morph sequence that is better than its Power Rangers counterpart.
That's a lie.
I was hoping you'd take the bait. Go on. Let's hear it.
Okay, so if we're going by Power Rangers ones, I would actually agree with Mike and say Dino Thunder. It's for some reason the most iconic one that comes to mind straight away. Like, what I love about the Disney morphs is they're so over the top that, like, there's like almost like an earnestness to how over the top they are. Like, they're fully aware of how over the top they are. And they just embrace it and think, oh, you think this is done? We're going to backflip again. Oh, you think this is done? We're going to pose on like a volcano behind us and like that. It's, like, it's so, there's just like more to them. Which obviously it's kind of like, that's more for the viewer. It's not real. It's like a real, because if we're talking about just like Instamorphs, then Lightspeed Rescue takes the cake because, like, you know, they kind of fling the badge and the Maltese cross, as we've established, comes over them and envelops them and stuff like that, and that's like a really cool effect. But in terms of like just the spectacle of like the morph sequence, and yeah, Dino Thunder is wonderful. I love it. I love it so much. And if we're talking about Sentai, then I might give it to Tokuja.
Well, we're not talking about Sentai.
Well, I just did anyway. You're gonna have to maybe edit it out or something.
No, the Tokuja one was nice.
Can we do like the worst morph sequences next?
No.
Oh.
Go on then. I mean, didn't have it written down, but why not? Let's chuck it out there. Worst, least, or not? Let's be a bit more positive about it. Least favorite, not worst. Least favorite morph sequence. Let's start with the Mothman himself, Bryce.
Time Force.
Yeah, I'd agree on that.
Just way too basic.
Yeah, I'd 100% agree. I never liked it. Even as a kid, I was like, this feels weird.
Wait, I wasn't even listening. Did you say Time Force?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the Time Ranger one's better, actually.
It is.
So there, Bryce. You lose this round.
So me and Bryce both say Time Force. I'm going to pass it over to John.
Wild Force, hands down.
What?
Which is it's the exact replica of the Sentai one, isn't it?
Isn't it to the point where their faces are literally just superimposed
onto
over
the
Sentai
It's the
one?
exact same one, but it's so
Except
good.
for the last episode of the show, where for some reason they do their own morph,
And it was
really
awful, and we don't talk about it.
I just did.
Yeah,
I
well,
just
we
don't get it. I don't get like the Morpher Man thing, and it's just weird.
Yeah, it is a bit odd.
Did the phones even do that? Like the toy?
Yeah. It bugged me. I remember buying the toy. It only came with the lion head in the Power Ranger edition. You couldn't change the heads.
I
to
know, I
bigger
hated
animals.
that. I wanted my shark toy.
It was also so quiet, the speaker on it, compared to the Time Force one, like just a year before. That we took it back, thinking our one was a bit defective, got a replacement one. It was still super, super quiet. So we took it back and I got the money back, because even as a kid, I was like, this isn't very good.
This image of like your dad going back to the shop like, "Oi, Muppet, return this morpher. My son used it. He didn't even transform into a Power Ranger."
Is that actual thing? Do y'all actually call people Muppets?
Mike's dad is Billy Butcher in this scenario, just to clarify.
Y'all actually call people Muppets?
Yes,
Oh,
when
yeah,
they can't
Is that
pronounce
like an actual insult?
they
Yeah.
can't pronounce the word morph and they pronounce it moth, we'll call them a Muppet, yeah.
I mean, that wasn't an actual reconstruction of what happened. I don't think that really. I don't know if Mike's dad talks like that, but
I'd like to think that he does.
But no, so yeah, that was my memory of the Wild Force Morpher. Well, and I agree, yeah, the Wild Force Morph isn't very good.
I love the Wild Force morph. I just kind of wish it wasn't.
We know you do.
Y'all gonna stop making fun of me. I am not your punchline for everything, damn it. I'm human too.
that's the highest pitched I've ever heard your
I
voice
didn't
go.
like it. Y'all are bullies.
John, I'd say pass it on, but obviously it's just J-Lo.
Jake say his? Yeah.
Oh my god, I don't even know what's happening anymore.
Just your least favorite.
Something
Something
about
about Gumby.
Power
Muppets.
Rangers. Gumby, when Gumby turns into a horse, it's just horrible. Oh god, worst one. I don't know. It's like in terms of like effect wise, I guess I always hated the in space one.
Yeah.
Where like they're just like asleep and then they lazily wake up and then all of a sudden they spin around in the Power
I think they
Rangers.
only actually did that once, where they showed them,
Was that in the
Yeah.
first episode and then they just cut it?
and then from then on it was just
I
the
think they
text.
cut it-
And
So
The weird like text where it doesn't
Yeah.
make any sense. It's like go gangster, fight the system.
Tighten up, reality gangster. Yeah.
That's
I like
see,
what they
there
were
we go.
going for with like the eye opening or whatever, but I feel like they shouldn't have just held on them that long, or maybe put some kind of like lightning effect around them or something. Like,
Yeah, it was so awkward. It was so no wonder they got rid of that. They must have thought, oh god, this is
wasn't In Space a notoriously apparently cheap? Was it a
Was
cheap
it?
season because they thought obviously they? I thought it didn't have a lot of budget because obviously where Turbo didn't do very well, they lost their part of their budget, so it was a cheaper season
if
to
it
make
was, I
overall.
couldn't tell.
But then as it went on, it obviously proven a success, which is why I think it ended on a big bang, quite literally. And then that's why Lost Galaxy took budget from other shows because they was like, it's doing well again, funnel money.
Ah, interesting.
I could be very
No,
wrong.
I think he's
could have
right.
made all that up on
I
the
think
spot.
that's what the story is.
Let's spread some misinformation like any self-respecting podcast. And honorary mention as well of talking about bad morphs, but not in the sense of like, just like lazy effects. Well, kind of. It's something that doesn't make any sense from what I can remember. And again, can't remember anything else about this series. I've not watched the full thing. But the Beast Morphers morph is
Yeah.
terrible.
It's not
Which
great.
ironically, because it's got, Bryce's favorite show, Beast Muffers. It's like it's such a waste because like with Go Busters, they didn't really have a designated morph sequence. They never really used one. It was for the majority of the show, it was much more like Kamen Rider, where it was all just kind of instantaneous, within the scene itself, like instamorphs, I guess. But then we'd occasionally do like one, and it was all a bit like digital effects and kind of because that's the theme of the show. Whereas Beast Morphers took the aesthetic of that, but then did these weird big like animal cloud
I
things.
hated that.
Yeah.
And like really
With the
like
screaming rabbit.
these like decapitated helmets of the sunglasses coming on and stuff. It just looked horrible. The whole thing, it was.
He
it
really
was-
should have kept
it
like, the
was-
techie,
yeah.
like kind of binary codey like effect that Go Busters had. I don't know what they were
Yeah.
going for with that weird like fart cloud.
Well, enough of talking about bad morphs, but let's talk about bad guys. Who was your favorite foot soldier?
Oh,
Because there's
Ooh.
quite a lot to pick from there, and they can be any of them. So, like for example, even if like Dino Thunder had the Triptoids and the Chandrons, that you can pick either of them. It's not like you can only pick one per season or whatever. So yeah, even I am still a bit stuck on what I would choose for this answer. Because there's a lot to pick from. It's 30 years worth. Admittedly, I can't remember any of the names from the last 5. But
All the US exclusive ones are really good.
yeah, no, they are actually. I'll give you that. Who should we go to first? I would say. Do you all need time to think on this one? Is this quite
no,
a
no.
no?
I
Okay,
think
I'm
I
gonna
got it.
pass.
Can I pick a Sentai one?
No, you can't. This is.
Oh.
We've been over this.
Oh,
I'm gonna
you
ask
eat.
every time.
I'm going to pass it to John.
Tangas. I really like them.
Yeah, they're
The,
pretty cool.
the TV shows or the film
Yeah,
ones?
the TV show.
What's the difference?
One is
Well,
called
the-
Tengu. The other is Tengu.
Oh. I'm very, very sorry.
One of them threw him into a rage and
Oh, my word.
Jay.
Okay. So if I can't pick the Kuros from Tokyuja,
No, you can't.
Oh, those would have been really good too.
They would have been really good. They would have been really good. I am going to pick for the iconography, I'll pick the putties, but for the sheer novelty of the fact that Tommy Oliver thought, you know what would be a really good idea to help society? Building a bunch of weird, mindless drones out of Tyrannosaurus DNA. So I'm going to give it to the Tyrannodrones. Plus, they just look kind of creepy and stuff too. They're very
creepy, actually.
Very cool design.
Which putties are you
The ones in Once and Always, it was just a man wearing a hoodie. No, it'll be the obviously the original ones. Mainly, okay. I guess the ones from like the Jew Ranger footage too, because they just looked better.
Not the ones with the hit me here and kill me button.
No, not the toys with action feature built in.
They were supposed to be the stronger ones.
Yeah, and then they had like when the episode where the Rangers got turned into kids. You know, one of like Zed's most evil accomplishments that he ever performed. Where like the kids could throw like footballs or something at them and it would feed blow up. Those putties. So yeah, no, I'll give it to my answer to Tyrannodrones and I will pass it to Bryce.
Well, since you picked the Tyrannodrones, I'm gonna go with the Quantrons. Because not only were they really cool, like US exclusive foot soldiers, but they even had like their own weapons, and those were also like really cool looking.
My head, icon. I'm trying to differentiate the Piranhatrons and the Quantrons.
Quantrons are from space.
I know that. I'm talking about the design. Looking. I'm trying to picture it in my head.
Do you need visuals?
The Piranhatrons are more bronzy.
They also
more piranha-y.
They also just
so they've got like fish faces. So that's one thing.
It's in the name there. It's Piranhatron.
My God! After all these years,
I'm free.
I wasn't even going for that one, but oh, okay, yeah, they're entirely different.
And
they're more different than I ever thought. Yeah.
Fun fact. Hang on. What's the bloody name of it? Hang on. I can't remember what they're called in the show. So this isn't the best screen grab. However, did you realise that they reused the Quantron suits or the chess pieces for Wild Force?
Oh, did they?
I did not know that.
I definitely thought those were like
listeners can't see.
Well, no. Again, we'll post these things.
Yeah, they are.
No, they've
interesting.
Reused. Yeah. Which I never noticed as a kid. It was only about a year ago I noticed that. So yeah, that's a fun fact right there. So I'll give mine, seeing as we've now, as everyone else has given theirs. So I was almost picking the Chillers because I just like their design. And I even find it funny how in Sentai, in Bokenja, they're made of stone, but they still kind of work being made of ice in Overdrive. I then almost picked the Crybots because you've got the blue heads and the orange heads.
I do really enjoy those ones.
And again, another good design, yeah. Like so, the Crybots is just like the whole Empire side of it. My top pick actually makes so that we've all picked a US exclusive foot soldier would be the Stingwingers.
Oh yeah.
Just because as a kid I found them kind of creepy, I liked the insect motif for the villains.
They are a good design.
And they're a good design as well. As much as I like the Swabbies, I prefer the Stingwingers in Lost Galaxy. So they would be my...
Blew themselves up and
they're very forward thinking when it comes to strategy.
Destroyed the Megazords.
None of this, the fact that we all just picked the US exclusive ones is indicative of the fact that the US can make good exclusive suits or anything. As precedent, you know, we're not going down that road or anything.
Are we not? Round number. Oh my god! Next speed round. Shall we do favorite US design? Or have we all just kind of named them ourselves in theory?
Can
I
we,
think we did.
can we count the comics?
No.
Ooh. No.
Then
I was
this is
going
about
to
to
say
be a very, very short round.
You call him Dr. Jones, Lee? I'm so sorry.
Oh, he's won an Oscar.
And Harrison Ford's not, which is hilarious.
Yeah, I think we all know how the US suit design is probably going to go.
That film was so weird. Has anyone seen Everything Everywhere All at Once?
Yes,
I
it's
have not.
fantastic.
Oh my god, it's so trippy. It's
no,
worth watching, I'd say. But it's crazy.
It's a very good film, actually. Yeah, it's on Amazon Prime. If any of you have that.
That's where I watched it.
Yeah. We won't do favorite US design because I think we know how that's going to go. I'll probably cut that little bit out.
No, we want. We do it now.
Okay, favorite US design.
Of what?
Oh, of a ranger suit. Sorry,
Ranger suits. Okay.
yes. I will start this one off and say that the Spirit Rangers are probably my favorite. As much as I like Titanium, who's probably the second favorite. The Spirit. I when Geki Ranger was airing, I was still a teenager, just about a teenager, and I drew my own design of a green Geki Ranger, and I was really happy with it. I called it Geki Adventure, because names. And then the next year we had the green Spirit Ranger, and I was like, well, that's miles better than my green one, and I like it. But there's also a bat, and I like Batman. I don't really care about the Shark. We've already got Blue Ranger on the team. He can go. But no, the Spirit Rangers, Jungle Fury, they are very well designed. We know they're done by Plex, but they're still very well designed.
I was gonna say, because technically they are really just like additional Sentai suits, aren't they? They're kind of like the suit version of like the G2 footage.
Yeah, essentially, actually, that's a very good analogy.
I'm full of nothing but good analogies. That's basically all I'm good for in life.
I will pass it over to you now then and say, Jay, what's your favourite US design?
Oh, well, you, because you picked the one I was going to pick. No, Titanium Ranger, because I've just redesigned him. I guess I've just like studied the suit a lot, and it's it's cool. It's like it's good how it's kind of different from the standard Lightspeed suits, but it also fits in really well with them too. It's just a good variation of like the theme of the suit. It looks like a more advanced version, but then it's also not so far removed that it feels like distracting from it. It's like it just gels really well with the rest of the suits. Whereas there's so many issues, especially in like the recent stuff that I've seen, where the US of New Zealand original stuff, I should say, is so at odds with everything else in the aesthetic of the show that it's nice that something fits. So yeah, Titanium Ranger is my pick.
Okay.
I like it.
Are there any other options?
Yep, I have one.
Okay, so if you've got one, Bryce, then I'm going to pass it on to John.
Wow.
Just because I want to see if John picks your one, just for fun.
I mean, I was gonna say Spirit Rangers too, because those are the only ones I can think of.
I'm trying to think as well.
Really? They're the only ones you can think of?
Y'all are forgetting something.
If we're saying favorite,
Yeah, if we're saying good
Y'all are
ones.
forgetting
Yeah.
one that's actually good. At least I think so.
well then Bryce, go ahead.
Ninjetti suits.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
they're just ninjas.
We clearly need more on the soundboard. No, they are they're cool.
Compared to the original Ranger suits we get now, yes, I'd say the Ninjetti suits are very cool looking.
They are. They're not like typical like Ranger type suits, I guess. But I mean, what is,
Actually, would have
what is a
accepted
Ranger?
them as just straight up being the Ranger suits for season 3.
I think we've discussed it before. Yeah, I think I thought they were, and then they morphed from those into, and I was so confused as to why they did it. But yeah, fair point.
Moving on from Ranger suits, some of the teams have actual civilian suits or uniforms.
Ooh.
And so let's move on to favorite civvy, as I've been calling it. Favorite civvy suit.
Civvy suit.
Are
Are we counting like
suits.
actual uniforms, or like are we also counting the seasons where the Rangers wear the same casual clothes every day?
I would say count the ones where they have like a uniform or an outfit that's not the casual clothes side of stuff. Like so, not Time Force where they are constantly wearing the same outfit day to day.
Unless it's the
But you
Time
would
Force
count the Time
uniform.
Force. Yeah, but you would count their uniform. Wild Force have the jackets. Lightspeed have the jackets. Trying to think of other ones. It's only things like Turbo, Zeo, and the earlier seasons where they don't have uniforms, I'd say. Or like, and some of the later ones, obviously, actually, like Dino Charge.
In Space A uniforms.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh man, now I'm thinking about it, we had a lot of good ones. It's another hard one.
I mean, I know mine, so I'll lead with mine. The ninja suits and Ninja Storm.
All right,
They are my
that's
favorite.
good. You crossed
Ninja-
off one of mine.
Did you say Ninja Steel or Ninja Storm?
Storm. Ooh,
Ninja Storm. Ninja Storm, good sir.
Had to make sure.
Yeah, no, I really liked just that they weren't your typical. Like they could have gone like the Ninjetti suits. They could have done something like that and really basic, but they didn't. And they didn't also copy it straight from Japan. They made their own suits, and I think they just looked really nice as ninja suits. So for all of them, for the Wind Rangers, for Thunder, and for Cam, as he's in his Green Samurai one.
Yeah.
But no, I really liked him. And I'll save my close second because I feel like someone else is going to pick the close second. If they don't, I'll mention it. But yeah, I'm going to now pass it on to Jay.
Why did you pant like a dog?
I was doing a hand motion. Sorry, I was doing like a who am I going to pick? Who am I going to pick? And I realised that I just made the noise, and none of you can see me going with my hands. Like, who am I going to pick? Who am I going to pick? So you just heard me go, and then I point to the screen as I said Jay. But obviously, it's not a webcam, so.
And I'm also not inside the computer. I'll probably be fairly basic on this one and pick SPD.
And that was my second choice. There we go.
Is that why you picked me?
It wasn't. But yeah, it worked out.
Yeah, the very it's again, it's kind of like an extension of Ninja Storm and how it was kind of like it was similarities to the Sentai suit, but then its own thing. I feel like SPD was the same. It was similar in aspects to the Deca Ranger uniforms. And I like a lot of aspects of the Deca Ranger uniforms, but then I really like the SPD ones too. They're like similar but different in like interesting and really nice ways. There's so much about SPD in terms of the art direction of the show and how well designed it all was. Like all of the US original stuff in there, from like the aliens to the things. But ironically, I'd say the weakest of the US designs in SPD is the A Squad Rangers themselves.
Yeah.
But like everything else, and yeah, the actual civilian uniforms are really, really nice.
Funny enough, I do really like the Ninja Storm and the SPD uniforms, but they're also ones where I think Sentai uniforms looked better.
I thought we weren't allowed to talk about Sentai.
You just brought up how similar they were, and I'm just like, because like for the most part, I did think that a lot of the uniforms were better than their Sentai counterparts. I thought that Time Forces were better than Time Rangers, and Wild Forces is better than Gao Ranger, and so on. But I always thought that the Hurricaneer and the Deca Ranger uniforms were not by much, but just a little better than their Power Ranger counterparts.
I kind of like them equally. I think they've got elements like I like there's like a bit more color. I think on the the Deca Ranger ones. Like the shape on it's more interesting, but there's something just a bit more like sleek about the SPD ones, which is
Yeah.
they're
SPD
both
ones look
really
more-
good. But
I feel like the SPD ones look more like actual would-be cadet
Yeah,
uniforms.
I will say-
than
yes,
the Deca
I'll say
Ranger
this.
ones.
Like aesthetically, I do like the Hurricaneer one better, but I feel like the Ninja Storm ones actually do feel more like.
just what, Bryce?
Did I get cut off? Did
Yeah.
oh
Yeah.
It's let us hang
oh
in.
my bad. That must have been a mic thing. I was saying that.
Don't blame Mike.
Well, like aesthetically, I do prefer the Hurricaneer uniforms. I do think that the Ninja Storm ones are like do a better job of actually looking like what a ninja would wear. Did that all come out?
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry, can you hear that?
I did hear that. I don't know
I'm
what
so
that
sorry.
was.
Oh my god.
What is going on? Okay, you know what? Fuck it. Next.
I'm sorry. I was drinking some Pepsi and it just kind of I heard it coming through on the mic and I was like, oh no. I just had to stop. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh yeah, you see that's I like both. Is that Brandon McLaren wearing the Deca Ranger one?
It is, yeah. I thought it'd be a good comparison image.
Oh, that's
for
cool.
Ourselves. Mainly because I wasn't sure if John knew what the Deca Ranger suits looked like, because I know he's not a big Sentai watcher.
I did not. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, they're both very nice suits. I think they
I
both
feel
work
like
in
they
different
kind
ways.
of inverted it, haven't they? Because they've still got like the left-hand side star point.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's weird how they just kind of inverted it and was like, okay, I moved the badge over here and swap that badge over there. Yeah.
It feels like the Deca Ranger ones kind of look a bit more like Japanese police officer in a lot of the aspects and the layout of the actual, like just the build of the actual fabric itself. Whereas
Yeah.
then, I'd
It's the
say
shoulders.
again,
It's in the shoulders, isn't it, as well, actually?
yeah, the SPD one is just like not like an American police uniform. It looks like a good sci-fi type uniform.
Yeah.
It just it knows the assignment and it does the assignment well.
I'd agree.
Yep.
So yeah, Jay, pass it on to someone else.
I've been talking for so long, I don't even know who's left. Is it John? Is it John?
I think it's just me.
John. Go, John. Go.
Well,
We also forgot me, but okay.
I'm the one who matters.
Oh God, no, that was Mike. Oh shit.
Uh huh.
I'm so sorry. I'm gonna pick
There you
Bryce. I'm
are.
gonna pick Bryce. I undo. I pick Bryce.
Wild Force jackets. Love them.
Oh my!
Wish I could
Why? I
find them somewhere.
I picked John again.
All right. To be fair, if Mike hadn't already said it, I would have picked Ninja Storm, but he didn't. So I'm going with the Wild Force jackets. Like, if somebody could find those somewhere for me, let me know, and I will buy them in a heartbeat.
And I'd flush your head down the toilet if I saw you in the street. I'm so aggressive. I don't know why I'm this way.
Because you're just a jerk. You're a bully. We've been over this. Everybody, I'm a victim of Toku J. I've been personally victimized by him.
Hashtag cancel Toku-J. Oh no.
Raise your hand if you've been personally victimized by Toku J.
Oh.
Simon raises his hand somewhere in New Zealand.
Nah, that's for you.
Well, since everybody took Ninja Steel and SPD, I'm going to
Ninja Steel?
Ninja
No,
Storm.
no one's taking Ninja Steel.
Oh,
It's still open,
you're
John.
too goddamn similar. Change your name. You're
John
not
keeps
worthy
trying
of
to
it.
make. John keeps trying to make fetch happen with Ninja Steel, and it's not.
I'm going to go with the Lightspeed Rescue jackets.
Ooh.
Okay.
They got all kinds of crap hanging off of them. They got a carabiner in case they go mountain climbing. They're ready for anything.
They are.
I like-
They are.
yeah.
They are very nice.
I liked how that they didn't look necessarily rangery too much. Like the SPD ones, they've got enough color coding in them to be clearly Power Ranger related. These are just rescue jackets with slight color changes in the badges.
Yeah, the emblems on the
Yeah.
shoulders are different too.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, so like the slight changes on patches. The rest of it, they are just rescue jackets, and that's what I quite like about them actually as well.
They just look like nice jackets. I would have one.
I would.
I wouldn't flush your head down the toilet, John.
I might like it.
Yeah, because I'm your victim, not him.
Hashtag cancel Tokuji.
Let's move from talking about our favourites to talking about least favourites very briefly. We're not going to hang on this too much. Least favourite ranger suit. So out of all the ranger
suit
suits
or uniform?
Ranger suits.
Least
So the
favorite
actual
ranger
rangers
suit.
themselves. So,
What could it be?
Yeah,
and you can't pick Cosmic Fury.
Oh yeah, no,
What could it
Cosmic
be?
Fury.
What?
Cosmic Fury is too easy.
Yeah, you can't pick Cosmic. It's not aired yet, so we can't pick that. That's what we're going to say.
and apparently they'll look
Honestly, even if it had
fantastic
aired
in
yet, I'm
motion.
going to say we can't do
They might grow on us in the meantime.
Crap.
Who's going first?
There are a lot that I don't like, but I can't really think of any that I actively dislike as much as Cosmic Fury.
No power's in Mike's hands right now.
Sorry, why is the power in my hands? I kind of zoned out as I was trying to think of my answer.
you got to pick someone. You have a
Oh,
host.
sorry, of course, yes. I was trying to think of an answer so much. I'm going to go with Jay.
I wasn't asking for you to pick me. That wasn't what I was doing. I actually don't. And this isn't meant to victimize Bryce again. I don't like the.
I don't believe
You cut out there as you said that, Jay.
No, I was going to say, I don't believe him.
Apparently, Bryce heard me.
Oh,
I didn't hear you. I didn't hear you.
We
I
heard
just
what
knew
you
what you
were
were going to say.
We heard where you were going.
Oh, okay. I went Wild Force. I'm probably gonna get so much hate for that, but there's elements of them that I kind of like, but none of it really makes any sense to me. Like, if the other pick was gonna be Lost Galaxy, because what's Charlie Brown got to do with space, but with Wild Force, it's kind of like. It just nothing makes a lot of sense. Like, is it supposed to be an ancient type warrior thing with like this badge with stripes that goes across, but then it's got this really like modern graphic design emblem on the chest, and then like I don't know what it's trying. And then the helmets are all very based on like the robot animals rather than the animals themselves. So it's like. It's not really based on animals. It's kind of like
it just based off of the wild swords, which weren't. They were just based off of the wild swords and how those looked. Though.
Oh, no, exactly. So it's based off a robot, but then like, what is the uniform based on that too? Like, what's the stripe with the obviously the rank numbers based on the amount of stripes, but then
just
the
sort of
rank
assume
numbers...
that they were like updated versions of. Those like ancient warriors who used to protect Shayla.
The rank numbers don't make any sense. Like it's like, why is one of them one? Why is one of them two? Why is it's kind of like, why is, say for example, Taylor was picked first, so why would Taylor not have like the one stripe? Because obviously Cole's picked last, so he has the fifth and stuff like that. It's kind of like it doesn't make. I don't know. Did they pick Taylor knowing that Taylor's going to be the second in command one day, but then just kind of being the only one? It didn't make it so...
Whatever reason, the Lion had to be the leader. Like, they straight up said that. So I guess it didn't really matter when Taylor joined. Either way, she was never going to be, like, top-ranked one, even though she absolutely should have been.
I don't know. There's so much I don't... The overall aesthetic of Wild Force kind of throws me. It just... It's hard to kind of piece together what it is, so yeah, I'm not too keen on that one.
You know what?
There's one that no one else is going to pick too, so it's fine.
I get to say it. Not liking Wild Force is racist.
What?
And you can't dispute me.
Well, then I'll say liking Wild Force is homophobic.
Ah, shit. Yeah, but see, I'm already...
picking on Jay is anti-Semitic.
Now you're just pitting marginalized groups against each other, Jay. How dare you?
I didn't. You started this. You started this, Bryce.
Are you accusing
this
the black
world
man of
war is on
something?
you?
Oh God!
Oh,
Are we gonna have to cut this out?
I am going. I'm getting my best. I need to adjust this. I'm gonna pick Bryce. Bryce, pick your worst suit.
Least favorite suit. It's between Lightspeed and Time Force. I like the helmets for both of them, but the suits themselves, I'm kind of meh on.
Well, see, now I don't feel bad for picking Wild Force at all. The Time Force suits are sexy as.
Eh. Like I can't even.
Good comeback.
Because I don't really have a reason. Like I don't dislike them, but just out of all the suits that aren't Cosmic Fury, they're probably my least favorites. Just by virtue of me liking all the other suits better. There aren't too many Power Ranger seasons where I just straight up dislike the suits, unless we're talking like individual Rangers, like the Mercury Ranger. I think his thing is just straight up ugly, but in general, I thought the Overdrive suits were really good.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I guess like, I wouldn't even say that I hate the Wild Force suits. I may have actually said that, but I don't think I meant to. I was
probably said it just to piss me off.
I was just lashing out. I was hurt, you know.
No, you weren't. You were just trying to hurt me.
You were... I don't know anymore. Oh, I'm gonna drink my Pepsi.
Yeah, you do that.
Just pass it on, Bryce.
Passing it on to who didn't go. Oh, I almost said passing it on to Jay.
I don't want to talk again.
Mike.
Can I pick Hyperforce? Do they count?
No! How dare you?
I thought we weren't picking like comics.
So,
and extended stuff.
Both Brits are just like bullying me at this point.
Oh, I wouldn't pick the.
I like the helmets on
Hyperforce
Hyperforce,
ones.
just not the suits. The suits and helmets don't match. I feel like they're from two different teams.
Yeah, they're completely at odds with each other. That's what I think too.
But if I had to pick a in-show suit that was my least favorite, I would honestly actually have to pick Samurai.
Oh wow!
Oh my god!
I agree that they're sleek, but they're just a bit boring.
Fair.
It's just there's not enough. I feel like even with ones like Megaforce, you've got a bit more detailing going on, and there's detail in the helmets and the chest. On the more simple ones like Lightspeed, you've got that rescue theme there, and also that's probably got a bit of nostalgia base to it as well.
It's a Maltese cross.
Exactly, the Maltese cross. But they're to me they're on par with Samurai in terms of basic. Like the theme is. They've basically said, here's the theme. They've done the minimal amount of work and they've gone with it. And yes, it's a sleek output. It doesn't entice me. It's not as exciting as the things that came before it or after it. And yeah, so I would say Samurai. Basically, if I had all of the Red Rangers lined up and you said get rid of one, I'd happily get rid of Samurai, and I wouldn't be like, oh no, Samurai. Oh no. Yeah,
but he's the one that so proudly declares that he is the Red Ranger more than anyone else.
But yeah, so that would be my pick.
Oh, Samurai Ranger
I'm gonna
ready.
pass it to John.
Who else would you pass it to?
All right.
Everyone is so salty. My God. Well,
It's Jay's fault.
honestly, I also would have said Wild Force, but not getting into all that again. I'm going to go with Megaforce, the Ghost Sager suits.
Ooh,
I think they
that's
just
another
look
controversial one.
weird with the high-waisted white pants and the Matador jacket. It's just, I don't like their helmets either. It's just kind of weird.
I've never seen him as that.
You'll never see him as anything else now.
No, thank you.
Their helmets are weird. Yeah. I don't hate them. There are no suits that I actually hate, except for Cosmic Fury, but I'd say they're my least favorite.
I was going to say, is hating Cosmic Fury just our running gag?
I think it's just reality at this point.
I think Cosmic Fury itself is a running gag.
Like it's.
I love that's the one thing we all agree on, though.
It's like our common bonding thing. It's a shame. It's a shame because again, as someone that is a professional artist, but I don't like to diss other people's work, and there's elements of them which
Yes.
they try to work. They don't work. In my opinion, they don't work as Power Ranger suits. We're not going to get into that right now.
They work as like maybe what the A Squad suits should have been.
Oh God, no, we don't work for that at all. It's kind of ironically, it's kind of what like based on what John just said about the Megaforce suits. Like I really like them as the Ghost Asia suits. I think they work well within the context of that show. I think because obviously they have the whole like Angel like clan type thing we've got going on, where say we've got different emblems like the Skyak tribe and the Seek tribe and stuff. Whereas that doesn't make any sense in Megaforce because there's no context for that. So they work like in Sentai. They don't work so much in Power Rangers. I think that's an interesting way to look at things too.
I love that not so smooth transition away from Cosmic Fury.
Yeah, I'm just trying to be nice.
Well, I want this to actually be a genuine speed round. So like quick answers, and then we can go into it. A lot of basically you can boil down pretty much every season to being of one aesthetic. It's either animals or it's tech, right?
Or magic.
Well, but yeah, even the magic ones are based on animals.
Sometimes.
Like
sometimes the tech ones are based on animals. RPM.
That's what I'm saying. But they're animals or tech most of the time. That's how you can split it all there together, I suppose, if you've got to be pedantic like Bryce.
Magic versus technology.
Animals or tech? Basically, yeah. Let's just pick in between them. You've ruined my whole speech. So right, we're just going to go around, and I think on instinct, what do you prefer in the team aesthetic? Do you prefer it to be animals or tech? Forget magic, because magic is more often than not leak into animal. Start with Bryce, just to get him over with, because I know he's going to not do what I say.
Animals.
Animals, lovely.
Of course, he said that wild fuss.
Oh God, yeah, that's true.
Not even just
John.
because of them. I just hate or tend to not like a lot of the tech seasons in general.
Speed round, Bryce. Speed round.
Hey! Jay started it.
This is so slow. Every bit's so slow.
John.
Tech.
Jay.
Dinosaurs, no tech.
Oh, okay. See, I wasn't sure if you'd go for tech or animals with your design mind as well. I would say tech as well, so it's just Bryce who would say animals. Yeah, for me, the tech ones I think are massively more interesting, and I feel like you can just explore something a bit further. And in some cases, like RPM, you can do a mix of both.
Oh, so you can explain yourself, Mr. Speed Brown, but I couldn't.
Yes, I prefaced it by saying let's all answer quickly, and then at the end we can discuss it. In fact, Mike, when you're editing, play that bit back for us. I want this to actually be a genuine speed round, so like quick answers, and then we can go into it. Thank you. So yeah, if there's any talking points there, we can discuss that.
I will let John speak.
As someone who likes the Zord toys, I tend to lean more toward the techie Zords. I like the Turbo Megazord, Astro Megazord, ones that are vehicles or machines. They just make better toys for me.
Yeah, I like that. That's good.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think sometimes as well with a lot of it's easier for them to be not lazy necessarily because it's a choice, but like when like say the Megazord arm is just like a polar bear or something. It's like, what is this? It just I don't like that as much. It just doesn't.
Which season could that be?
Oh God, that's
Which season could he be referencing?
No,
I wonder.
None of this is.
I wonder what Regina George is talking about this time.
Oh my God! Oh, this is the most off the rails episode, and I love it. But I feel like the tech stuff just opens up more avenues, and even the irony of it is, again, going back to Go Busters, Beast Morpher, sorry, but like Go Busters being the better.
Oh no, you said it right. You said it right the first time. I know that it
did, but obviously I've been specifically told we're talking about Power Rangers today in this podcast.
It's okay. We never adapted Go Busters.
But like I'd say Go Busters leans far more into the tech aspect of the whole thing, whereas Beast Morphers then takes the same material but leans way more into the animal side of things, and I feel like obviously it hurts it, but that's an
That must be your Jackrabbit DNA.
award-winning dialogue. Yeah, just it's weird because the animal aspect of those designs is really secondary to the actual tech part of it, and yeah, I really like. There's more to go off on the tech stuff, I find.
That's what I find as well, which is what gravitates me towards the tech aesthetic more so than animals.
I've just always been more of like a fantasy person than a sci-fi one, so all like the mystical stuff and like the animal aesthetics and all those have always just appealed to me more.
Yeah.
There have been obviously there are tech seasons that I really like RPM or In Space or whatever, but for the most part I always tend to prefer things just going more on like the mystical side.
Well, the RPM ones too, you could say, are kind of like tech/animal because they're very focused on the whole, big googly anime eyes,
Yeah.
the cars. So,
but the Go Oncher aesthetics are so ugly.
What? I feel less guilty about what I said about Wild Force each and every round since.
Go Oncher Zords are so ugly.
Beautiful.
The Megazords are so ugly.
I love how they stack. That's one of my favorite parts. It's like the Duoja stuff, but done nicely, like the stacking.
No, I mean the Duoja Zords are awful too, but oof, the googly anime eyes are also bad.
Next topic.
Moving on to
Well done.
y'all are bad at this.
This is the last question I had prepared. So unless anyone else has other speed round ideas they would like to present,
Because we've been so speedy so far.
is favorite roll call? Obviously, some seasons kind of don't really have one other than just shouting "red." That's it.
Yeah, I feel like we'd have to start dipping in the Sentai for this one.
We're not going
to.
So yeah, that's what I was saying. So the roll calls, obviously, there's not for every season, so there's only a few select seasons. And I would say this also counts as to sometimes what they would say at the end of a morph. So, like for example, you'd have in Ninja Storm where they say "power of air."
Power of air,
Things
power.
like that.
What about with the end of Dino Thunder's morph where they don't really say it, but they do the Alba Ranger roll call poses?
But then they used to, in some instances, they say Tyranno power.
Yeah, they did mix that up a few times, didn't they?
They did. But like obviously Wild Force has the Guardians of the Earth United, we suck. Sorry, it was just
All of y'all are just some bullies. It is only because I like it.
Oh no, it's trust me, it's not. If you weren't here, we'd be saying the same.
Hold on, my phone's ringing.
Of course it is.
It's all right because Bryce is saved by the bell. For you kids listening, Saved by the Bell was a popular 90s kid show. Well, this is interesting because technically Bryce isn't here, so we can still talk, and I think we probably will say that we don't like Wild Force very much. So it puts that theory to the test.
So yeah, I said that. Everyone laughed. Bryce called us all bullies, and I'll then say, right, I'm going to chuck it over to Jay.
What are we even talking about anymore?
It was favorite roll call.
I mean, I can only pick Sentai ones.
I'm going to retract my throne.
The only one. No, okay. No, actually, yeah. Pass it on to someone else. I need to think.
I'm going to pass it on to John.
I don't know. Are we counting like them calling the Thunder Zords that a roll call? Is it?
At this stage, why not?
Yeah,
it
use
technically
the
is because it's the
Jew
Jew Ranger
Ranger
roll call
footage, but I'll go with that just because it's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty good. I realised that this is probably the bad question to end on. It's just that I'd done all the other ones, and I looked at my list, and I was like, "Oh, I haven't done this one."
Have we picked favorite suits? Like just
we did-
overall suits?
We did favourite US suits.
No, I don't
Have
think
we
we
done
have.
like favorite overall though?
No, not overall. We did favourite theme song, favourite morph sequence, favourite foot soldier, favourite US suit design, least favourite suit design, favourite civvy suit, favourite Super Mega Force Ranger, animals or tech, and then now it's favourite roll call.
Well, there we go. We know what we're doing to
That
finish
works
off.
for me.
Cool. Works for me too.
I'm going to pick the Die Ranger roll call.
And if you have to pick something else because we tell you can't pick Sentai yet again, what would you pick?
I don't think I could because the kind of like I feel like in a lot of ways Power Rangers doesn't really do them in the same way that Sentai does. It's like a full-on tradition
It's
of
not as
Sentai.
iconic.
Yeah, no, you're right.
So yeah, like the poses are like obviously I think the Jew Ranger roll call poses is so iconic for Mighty Morphin, but not really for like a roll call. It's more for like, you know, like that time when Tommy joined the team, so they all celebrated by just posing and saying things.
Yeah, that's true.
It's kind of like you just use them for different purposes. So it's I don't know.
Yeah, I fully expected you to pick the Tokyuja one if you could pick.
I would because obviously I do love that one, and I did animate that one once upon a time, so I know it off the top of my head. So I do love it dearly. There's so many. There's so many.
Which ones were taken already?
I picked Die Ranger, Bryce. I
Oh,
was
we
told
can do
not to.
Sentai ones?
No,
we can't.
I just did it
Oh.
anyway.
Damn.
You can pick Wild Force. I'll allow it. It's one of the only ones where I feel like it's pretty like standard across the episodes.
Nah, I'm not gonna go with Wild Force just because everybody's gonna expect that. So, actually, mine is probably gonna be for a season I don't even like, Mystic Force.
Mystic Forces is good.
I
Yeah.
did like that one myself, actually. I can only remember Nick's line, which is Fierce as
Fierce
Fire.
Misfire, Red Mystic Ranger, Strong as a Tree, Green Mystic Ranger,
Ever changing as the wind.
Pink Mystic Ranger,
Fluid as
as
water.
the Sea.
Fluid as the sea. Yeah.
No, yeah,
Fluid is the sea.
Yes.
yep.
That's what
Look, it was Madison. She had to have something. They tried. She tries.
I think
It's not hard enough.
I think it was.
Fluid is the sea. That's Mike's wife you're talking about.
And then what was Chips? Fast as lightning.
Fast as lightning. Yeah.
Strong as steel. Watch out, danger. He's for real.
That's Sixth Ranger song, by the way.
Thunder roars. It's the Ginger from Mystic Force. Oh yeah, okay. My pick's SPD because I forgot that they actually do the Deck Ranger roll call. Don't they?
Yeah, I was going to say
kinda.
that's my pick would be SPD just for I like the 1, 2, the counting aspect, like a child.
2 SPD blue.
But I like that they make use of the giant numbers on their chests, which is good. I'd rather
Except
they
for
address it.
Sam.
I like having a pirate aspect and just not addressing it.
I mean, if you ask Linkara, they don't even look like pirates.
Well, there's a reason Nickara's not on this podcast.
That's the only reason.
So what was the choices were Die Ranger, apparently.
Yay!
Mystic Force, Thunderzords, and SPD.
Have we got one more? We got one more question.
We have one final question now.
Already?
Then we can sleep.
We've spoke about our least favorite Ranger suits. We've spoke about our favorite US exclusive Ranger suits. But let's just go for overall. What are your favorite Ranger suits? And this can be the whole team, aesthetic. This can be an individual if they're the Sixth Ranger with a slightly different vibe. Favorite Ranger suits, starting with not Bryce because he's typing and muted himself. John.
Zeo.
Yeah, I like that. That's a good choice.
Especially Jay's. His were better.
No,
That's mostly the case.
I aim to please.
And please you do.
Oof.
What would yours be? What would yours be, Jay?
Either SPD or this is odds of you now. What you said was your favorite. I actually really, really, really love the Samurai. So sleek.
Sorry, you cut out a little bit there.
Well, then I'm not going to boil my cabbages twice. That's a phrase. The Samurai was my other pick.
Okay.
Like, just to be at odds of what you said before, like they're just really sleek and clean.
Yeah, no, they are sleek. I just don't care for them.
Sleek and clean is the way that you're making me feel tonight. It's hard to let it go.
It's the only I'm gonna get right now because Seth isn't here.
John picked Zeo and Jay picked Samurai / what was the other one you said? SPD.
SPD.
Okay, so favorite suits? It's between Go Kaiger and Go Busters.
This is a Power Ranger podcast.
I said what I said.
So, Super Mega Full Store Beast Morphers. Okay, got it.
If you want to call them that, then sure. You can refer to them as that. I am more cultured.
I would pick. I'm just going to sideline that. I would have to pick. I really like Ninja Storm's aesthetic as a whole, like their design.
Fair.
I would probably go though for my tiebreaker is going to shock you. So make sure you're sitting
Cosmic
down.
Fury.
Whoa.
It's the Charlie Brown Squad at Lost Galaxy
I am shocked.
And appalled.
and Dino Thunder.
I'm less shocked by Dino Thunder. They're very close.
Yeah, I love the Lost Galaxy's look. I don't know why the zigzag appeals to me, but it zigs and I zag back. And then with Dino Thunder, again, I don't know if it's a nostalgic thing, but where it was the first Sentai I discovered, they've just got a really interesting. I think it's a really clever design because, in my mind, that's simple done right. Whereas I feel like the Samurai ones are just sleek and simple, but a bit boring. They've put a bit more details into the helmets for Dino Thunder, but they're very basic still. They're quite simple. But I like the suit patterning. It's a nice evolution for what was at the time only the second dinosaur design. It was a nice evolution.
Isn't that crazy to think of at this point?
Yeah. It was a nice evolution from what we had in Mighty Morphin.
Overlooking the fact that your least favorite is Samurai and that one of your favorites is Lost Galaxy, which means that you're going to be my new Bryce from now on.
I'm fine with it. I'm fine with that.
Thank God.
The Dino Thunder ones or Aber Ranger ones, even if the main four suits were terrible, just the Aber Killer suit alone would make that entire season top tier because that one suit might be one of my favorite Sentai / Power Ranger suits in general, across the board.
Yeah, no, that's a good one. I know Seth really likes that one as well.
Yeah.
Nathan.
But yeah.
The mention of our dear beloved Seth.
Moment of silence.
He's still alive. He's still with us. He just wasn't on the last episode.
Oh shit! Yeah, I didn't mean to kill him off or anything. There.
Yeah, we would not be this nonchalant if he was dead.
Oh my god!
Oh gosh.
We hope he joins us next time.
Oh god.
Well, that was a multitude of speed rounds.
It just took
That
us 2
was-
hours to get there.
That was quite chaotic.
In a good
And
way.
I'm hoping you enjoyed listening to
Chaos
that
is the brand.
as much fun as we did. Yeah, it really is at this stage, unfortunately. But no, what I would like to do before we sign off, something we forgot to do last time, is to promote our new YouTube channel, where I'm going to pass it over now to John just to explain what's gone up there, because he's been the one reposting to YouTube.
Well, currently, my plan is to upload current episodes a month after they go live in podcast form. But as of right now, our first 6 are up and available. And our last episode, episode 7, should be up in about 3 weeks.
Amazing. So we now have another platform where you can listen to your Ranger Nation conversations and share them with people who maybe don't like modern technology with podcast platforms. I have a friend who also doesn't like podcast platforms and keeps asking me to send them to him. So I will be doing just that.
Please listen and comment and like. And we really, really want feedback. So please, whatever you like, whatever you don't like, let us know. On Twitter, on YouTube, wherever you want to. We love feedback.
If any of you guys have friends that just don't like being productive and don't like listening to things that could be helpful to them at any point in the future, then please listen to our podcast. We'd really appreciate it.
We would appreciate any and all support we can get.
Just pure chaos. Pure, unadulterated chaos.
Yep. A sign of things to come with Cosmic Fury.
Oh,
But
God,
on that note,
that's going to be one of our feedbacks. Stop throwing so much shade at Cosmic Fury.
no, I think one of our feedbacks will be
Throw more.
tell Bryce not to defend Wildfall so much. Oh, we almost went the whole episode without an Elgar comment. What a shame! I've just remembered it.
Bryce likes
So
Elgar.
most of the Elgar talk comes from y'all.
I mean, we've got various sound clips from that first episode, which would suggest otherwise.
Anyway, I think now's a good time to sign off. So thank you everyone for listening. We appreciate every single one of our listeners. And again, make sure you are following us on Twitter for latest updates, and we ask questions on there for topic ideas, general bits of feedback, and also the odd giveaway here and there. But in the immortal words of the Hasbro era, stay tuned.